Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna. So we've been talking about the soul since till now. And then the second chapter is basically about the contents of Gita summarized, right? So it's the first lesson in Bhagavad Gita is that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. We also saw about how transmigration of the soul happens, right, from one body to another. So, and then last class we saw how any small service that is done in devotional thing, it's not a loss. Neha Bikramanasosti Pratyavayana Vidyate Swalpam Abhyasya Dharmasya Trayade Mahado Bhaya. It will save you from greatest dangers. Like, what is the greatest danger we can ever have?
Sliding down to the lower species.
Like lower species, like
animals and
species. So last class we had a breakout room with Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, right? So that's where we stopped. We stopped here, right, with the breakout room, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we had a breakout room saying that Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. So how it's important to have that one point attention. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita it said, Krishna Bhakti karle sarva karma kridafa. If we do Krishna Bhakti, then all other karma, it's like as if we have done all other karmas. Like, what's the example? Watering the root of the tree. What do you mean by watering the root of the tree? Who knows?
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna,
If
if
you
we
root
water the root of the tree, we are sustaining all parts of the tree, Mataji, rather than going demigod to demigod and trying to offer prayers to them. The Lord is the one who permits everything. So that is the vital essence of everything in Dharma. So if the analogy is that, I thought. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, you can raise your digital hand. Okay. Is there any other analogy? Like as Mataji said, watering the root of the tree. There's one more. Jyoti Mataji, what is that?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. This is regarding that stomach and the senses, other senses, Mataji.
Yeah, the stomach, putting food to the stomach, and then the whole body gets nourished. Okay. So when one is awake in Krishna consciousness, he need no longer endeavor for good results in his activities. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, all activities are on the absolute plane, but there are no long subject to dualities like good and bad. And the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is renouncement of material conception of life. So it is said, once we get the mercy of spiritual master, we get the mercy of Krishna. Yasya prasada Bhagavad prasado, yasya aprasada nakati kuto. So by the satisfaction of spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes satisfied. And by not satisfying a spiritual master, there is no chance of being promoted to the plane of Krishna consciousness. So we should pray and meditate for what? To get mercy from the spiritual master. Ya imam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipashita Veda Vedarada Pata Nanyat Astiti Mandinaha. So Krishna minimizes the karma kanta because men of small intelligence are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets, resulting good birth, power, and so forth. So is there any example from the Puranas, from the Shastras, which says, like some of them were very much particular in studying the Vedas, doing sacrifices and everything, but they forgot to please Krishna. Krishna says, Vedesha sarve rahameva vidyam. By studying Vedas, we are supposed to please Krishna. But they were busy doing yajna and they forgot to please the Lord. Oh. Yes, Jyoti Mataji, who's that?
Can we say Bali Maharaj, Mataji?
Bali Maharaj was doing sacrifice, but he was in a karmi level. Balaji Prabhu.
Daksh.
Those brahmanas, when Krishna had sent his friend for food.
Good. So the yajnapatis, in the sense, the brahmanas, the brahmanas who were doing sacrifices for but forgot to please Krishna, who came with his friends. Actually, friends came, and then later Krishna and Balram came to ask for food. And the yajnapatnis, that is the wives of those brahmanas, they illiterate. They didn't know much about the Vedas, but they knew to please Krishna and they pleased Krishna. Bali Maharaj, on the other hand, he was thinking everything belonged to him. That's why Krishna came to teach him a lesson or teach us a lesson that we should know that everything belongs to Krishna. But Bali Maharaj somewhere had a thought that everything belongs to him. And he forgot to surrender himself. And that's why the Vamanadev had to keep the third step on his head. But after taking all the wealth from Bali Maharaj, Krishna gave himself as a doorkeeper in Sutala Lok. So that is a different thing because Bali Maharaj is a devotee of the Lord. Nishtrair Gunao
Vishwamitra.
Huh?
He was meditating. No, Mataji says Vishwamitra.
Yeah,
He was meditating. But it was on, the meditation was not.
He's a yogi. He's not a devotee as such. You can't say he's a devotee because even though when he was meditating, Vishwamitra, Ramba, Menaka, Urvashi, all of them came and his meditation broke. But on the other hand, Haridas Thakur was a devotee and midnight, the prostitute came, Maya Devi herself came and nothing happened to him. So this I'm asking of devotees who, so what devotees, yeah. Okay. Krishna minimizes the Karmaganda. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Okay, so normally the three modes of material nature acts on us, but Krishna is saying become transcendental means how can we become transcendental? By being Krishna consciousness. What is that stage called? What is that stage? I want raised hands. I just don't want random answers. Yes, Mamta Mataji.
Samadhi.
Huh?
Samadhi.
Samadhi in Krishna consciousness. Okay, but that's not the real. I'm asking the platform. Yes, Preet Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. It's Vasudeva platform, Shuddha Sattva.
Yeah, Shuddha Sattva. Very good. It's also called Vasudeva platform. So Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. So this is nothing but the Vasudeva platform. Okay. So Vasudeva platform means above the three modes of material nature, which is transcendental to the three modes, is the Sattva, the Shuddha Sattva or pure goodness. Why is it called Vasudeva platform? Because we realizes Vasudeva in that platform. Okay, one realizes Vasudeva or Krishna in that particular platform of Shuddha Sattva or pure goodness. Yavanartha udapane sarvada samplutotake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanadaha. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all purpose of the Vedas can be served the one who knows the purpose behind him. So if you have one great reservoir, then washing the clothes, everything is taken care instead of small. Similarly, all the purposes are served by the one who knows the purpose behind the Veda, because the real use of studying Vedas is to know Krishna. Once the Chaturvedis met Prabhupada and they were arguing about the different Vedas, or Rig Veda it says like that, Sama Veda they say like that. And Prabhupada, it's like, okay, you have studied all the Vedas. Now tell me, what is the conclusion of the Vedas? And they were not able to tell anything. Or Prabhupada asked, who do you think is the supreme according to the Vedas? They were not able to say. And then Prabhupada called the 5-year-old Saraswati, who was one of the disciples, Shyam Sundar Prabhu's and Malati Mataji's daughter. And Prabhupada asked, who is supreme? And she said, Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. So she, being a 5-year-old, she knew who, and Prabhupada's like, you people studied Vedas for so many years and wasted so many years, but you didn't know the conclusion of the Vedas. Krishna himself says in the 15th chapter, 15th sloka, Vedesha sarver ahameva vedyo vedanta kritveda videvachaha. So what is the purpose of studying Vedas? To know Krishna. Ahameva vedyo. The purpose of studying the Vedas is to know Lord Krishna. Lord Chaitanya was also asked by a great Vedic scholar, Prakashananda Saraswati also. So you know the past time where Prakashananda Saraswati was a Mayavadi sannyasi, and he came and was like, why are you not studying the Vedas? And what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reply? And Prakashananda Saraswati asked, why? Yeah, Sharanya Mataji, what is it?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, because I am a fool, my teacher Ishwar Puri just told to recite this mantra instead of studying all the Vedas.
Yeah, so he says, my Guru Ishwara Puri said, I'm fool number 1 and I can't remember all the Vedas and study the Vedas. So please just chant the holy name. That's it. So he is giving a hint to the people in Kali Yuga that We are all alpa buddhi, alpa metasa, in the sense manda sumanda madiyo, manda bhagyahu patrita in Kali Yuga. That, okay, studying the Vedas means Gita Upanishad. The Vedas, we don't have to go to individual Vedas because Srila Prabhupada has given us the summary of the Vedas as Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. That's enough actually for us. When that is not possible to finish in this life, so we have everything. So highest Vedanta is the best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. Actually, the Vedas conclusion is also that, right? Harir Namaiva Kevala. The highest Vedanta is a great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada says in the purport. Karmani eva evadikaraste ma faleshu kadashana ma karma falahe durgur mate sango asva akarmanihi ma faleshu kadashana. Krishna says he is the fruit giving power. He'll give the fruit. We have the right to perform our prescribed duty, but we are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duty. So what is Krishna saying? Ma faleshu kadashana. The Krishna will give us the result. So Arjuna, you don't worry about the fighting. Like Krishna is the one who is going to give the result. So karmane evadikaraste. That means what? It's an Arjuna's eligibility is to work. We can plant a tree. We can't expect to get the fruits of the tree. That Krishna will do. Or we are supposed to do our karma, but the fruit Krishna gives. Ma faleshu kadashana, Krishna says. We are not entitled to the fruit, Krishna gives it. Here the Lord says that you cannot stop your work, neither you can enjoy the activities. The fruit of your activities is belong to Krishna. That's the work on the spiritual plane. So what do? Like whatever money we get, everything, we just offer to Krishna, Sarva Krishna Arpanamastu, and then we can use it for charity or anything else. Or what we do, we can, one part of it can be given for donation, for to purchase Bhagavad Gita, some kind of devotional activities can be done with that money. In that way, it becomes karma free. And that's why you offer food. Like, so this chapter deals with the soul, right? So even plants have soul. Last class and all, we saw that where the five vayu, the air concentrates, that's where the soul rests in a plant. So when you kill the plant also, there is sin, no? So being vegetarian, there is also sin. So how do we overcome that? You can raise a digital hand. Yeah, Mamta Mataji, Hare Krishna.
By offering to the Lord, and Krishna told us that we are allowed to eat the vegetables, not.
Yeah,
But
so
we
by
have to,
offering to Krishna, what happens to the food?
it becomes prasadam, right?
Yeah, so what is happening? Prasadam means what actually?
All the sins are gone. We are not committing
Yeah,
any
sins
sin.
are gone. And the prasadam is more tastier. Why, Vijay Prabhu? You know?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, because it is the remnant of Krishna.
Yeah, that means there is a saliva of the Lord. And when the Lord takes it, and but when you keep it, Puja Mataji, nothing increases or decreases. So how do you know Krishna accepted it?
Krishna, when we offer it to Lord Krishna, Krishna can, with the eyes also he can have it, and any of his senses.
Yeah, with eyes also Krishna can glance it and have it. But how do you know Krishna had it? Siddharth Prabhu. You ring the bell, you close the curtain. How do you know Krishna had it? Prabhu?
No, I was actually answering the other one. That is because this Patra Puspam Phalam Toyam is there.
Yeah, Patra
So
Pushpam.
naturally that is allowable. So therefore it is allowable. That because he takes, so it is definitely
Yeah,
allowable.
Patra Pushpam Phalam Toyam, it is allowed. And Krishna says that these are the things can be allowed. So then we can offer only Patram Pushpa Phalam Toyam. Why are you offering biryani and pulav and paneer and everything? Krishna didn't ask all that, no? Krishna asked one flower, one leaf, that is tulsi, one little flower, water and fruit. That's it.
Bhaktya prayachati.
Huh?
Yame bhaktya prayachati. So with devotion who
Snigdha
gives it.
Mataji, what is the answer? Snigdha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, actually one analogy is there. When we are reading and learning books, we remember everything comes into our mind. But in the books, it is not going to vanish. Exactly like this, when we are offering food, our senses are so control and so less below, so we cannot realize that God has how he is. He can take it anyway. Just we are remembering the slokas from the book and it is not vanish out.
Okay, Balaji Mataji, Prabhu. Balaji Prabhu. What is your answer? How do we know that Krishna accepted it?
So in 9.26, Krishna himself has told that if we offer it with devotion, he will accept it.
Yeah,
So
what is that
we,
word?
one moment, Mataji, just let me. Okay, it
Navita
is
Mataji, what is that word?
Tadaham bhaktya
Tadaham
uparutam
bhaktya
asnami pratatmanaha.
And who knows? No. But see the word to word meaning.
Mataji, it's yo me
Bhaktya.
bhaktya prayachati.
Yo me
No.
bhaktya.
No. Which is the word which says Krishna says I accept it. See the word to
Asnami.
word meaning. Asnami. Asnami. Okay, Krishna says Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati. Tataham bhakti upathitam asnami prayadatmanaha. So when Krishna says asnami, that means I accept. Krishna says I accept. If you see the word to word meaning, Prabhupada mentions Krishna says I accept. So somebody challenged Prabhupada. Okay, you are closing the curtain, you're ringing the bell. How do you know Krishna accepted? Okay, you say Angani yasya sagalendriya vritti mandi. Krishna's senses are all transcendental. With his eyes he can eat, with his mouth he can see. So not like our senses. Krishna just can glance at your offering and he can have it. But how do you know Krishna had it? Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, and whatever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita is true. Krishna says asnami. Okay, if it is offered with love and devotion, Krishna will accept it. I accept it, Krishna says. So Prabhupada is like, whom should I believe? Krishna himself says I accept it. And why do we offer different varieties of food to Krishna? The next sloka, 9.27 says, Yat karoshi yat asnasi yat juhoshi tadasi yat yat tavasyasya kaundeya tat kuru shamadarpanam. Whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever charity you do, whatever things you do, offer it to me. So Krishna says, offer to Krishna. So whatever we eat, offer to Krishna. And yes, jiva sajivana, one living entity has to depend on other living entity for food. So as human, unlike animals, plant consciousness is low. When you kill an animal, it cries. But when you kill a plant, it doesn't cry. And you offer to Krishna. We are not vegetarians, we are prasadarians, because when you cook vegetables, even there is sin, because you're killing a soul, there is sin. But when you offer to Krishna, it becomes prasadam. Okay, it is more tastier because it's a remnant of the Lord, or there is a saliva of the Lord in it. And Krishna is not hungry. Prabhupada says Krishna doesn't want your variety of foodstuffs. Krishna sees the bhava grahi janardana. When Krishna took chip rice from Sudama, when Lord Ram took bitten fruit from Shabari, when Lord took the banana peel from Vidura's wife, and when Krishna took a lotus from Gajendra, whatnot. So when the Lord was accepting these, Krishna was not accepting the stuff. He was accepting the bhava grahijana, the bhava, or the mood with which, or the love and devotion of the devotee. Yes, Siddharth Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, I was just telling that we are not killing every time to eat vegetarian food. Like, for example, tomato or
yes.
Or there are many such things which we don't have to kill fully. We don't have to root it out. We are just taking
only the
fruits.
roots. Yeah, like potatoes, and only the roots we are supposed to uproot it. Otherwise, yes, we are just taking the fruit or the vegetable.
Killing.
And it benefits that plant. Why? Because when you offer a flower from a tree, or tulsi, or some vegetables from, or fruits from that plant gets benefit, or the plant is doing devotional service to the Lord, right? So it says that plant can become human next life, in the devotee next life. So in that way, yes, as Prabhu said, unlike killing an animal, you can't just take a part of an animal and then cook. No, you have to kill the whole animal, right? Otherwise, you'll become like a mrigari who used to half kill animals. But yes, Mamta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, there's an example. Somebody asked the question, how do you know that Krishna has eaten? The Prabhupada said that when we see the honeybee, it goes flower to flower and takes a nectar. But we see the flower, we haven't seen that honeybee has taken the nectar. So that's a good example of that.
Yeah,
Krishna has.
Yeah, very nice example. Yes, good. Okay, so Krishna is saying, perform your duty equipoise. Like, don't think about success or failure. Oh, Arjuna, abandoning all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. So Buddhi Yoga versus Karma Yoga. Buddhi Yoga is also called Bhakti Yoga. Okay. Yogasto kuru karmani sange tvekta dhananjaya siddhi asiddho samo bhutva samatva yoga uchyate. Perform your duty equipoised, O Arjuna. Abandon all attachment to success or failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. So here Krishna is telling, as we discussed, how is the battle in the Kurukshetra differ from modern terrorism? So almost like that, there's no karma binding in the battlefield. So Lord Krishna now directly says that Arjuna should fight for the sake of fighting because he desires the battle. That is the indirect hint given by Krishna to Arjuna in this verse. So why is Krishna desiring the battle? Krishna desires the battle. Krishna wants that to happen. Why? You can put in the chat or it's not mute. Why is Krishna desiring the battle? Snigdha Mataji.
Dharma sansthapanarthaya, to establish dharma.
That he could have avoided the battle. He can have a peace talk with them. But why battle? Yeah, Mamta.
Because he wants to take everybody to the spiritual world. He wants to give the liberation.
Yeah, he wants to give liberation to all the Kauravas and everyone because he wants to go take them back to his abode and to end his pastime, to summarize his pastime. So indirectly, Arjuna was advised to act as Krishna told him. So Krishna says at the end of the 18th chapter, where did I go? So Krishna says at the end of the 18th chapter, right? Like, Krishna says, Yada chasi tada kuru. Like you do whatever you like, Arjuna. Krishna doesn't force Arjuna, but give an option. And Arjuna says, Karishye vachanam tava, right? Whatever you say, I follow it. The following of Krishna's dictation is real yoga, and that's a practice in the process called Krishna consciousness. By Krishna consciousness, only one can give up the sense of proprietorship. One has to become the servant of Krishna or servant of Krishna. Gopi Bhakta Padakamala Das. Karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva minishinaha janma bandha vinirmukta padam gachanti anamayam. By thus engaging in devotional service to the Lord, great sages or devotees free themselves from the results of work in the material world. In this way, they become free from the cycle of birth and death, they attain the stage beyond all the miseries by going back to Godhead. So, by working for Krishna, in the sense, by becoming Krishna consciousness, we become free from the cycle of birth and death. So, when we kill an animal, as I said, we give the right to that animal to be killed in the next life. So, what about all the non-veg things we had before coming to Krishna consciousness? That's we were in ignorance. We were not knowing all these Shastras, and Krishna will forgive it because we are chanting Hare Krishna. But by after chanting Hare Krishna, doing sin, again, that is Nama Aparad. It adds more offense to us. So by eating prasadam, we are actually overcoming all the karmas. We become karma free. We become free from the cycle of birth and death, and we can become eligible to go back to Godhead. And it is said, like, when we take shelter of Krishna, the whole miseries of this material world, which is like ocean, seems like water in the calf's footprint. Samashritaye padapallava plavam mahat padam punyesho murare bhamambudirvatsa padam param padam yatvi padam natesha. So every step there's danger in this material world. Every step. Padam, yeah? So anybody knows that famous picture where there is a person hanging from a tree and down there is a pond with snakes, poisonous snakes. Did anyone see? And there is an elephant ready to uproot the tree. And also there is...
yes, Mataji, there's a beehive also.
Yeah,
beehive also, yeah. And there was a mouse, a black and white mice.
There was tiger also, Mataji.
Yes. Yeah, so that picture, if that person leaves his hand, he'll fall on in the pond, which is full of poisonous snakes. And after that, if he hangs on the tree, then what happens? The elephant might uproot the tree. And there was a black and white mice, and also there is honeybees biting him, right? So, and in spite of all this risk, he's trying to lick that little bit honey which is falling from the honeycomb. Is there anyone in this class who didn't see that picture? You can raise a digital hand. Is there anyone who didn't see the picture? I can share it at the end of the class. So in spite of all these difficulties, he's trying to drink that little honey which is falling from the Okay, okay. So I'll share it towards the end. Okay, you can just remind me. Okay, okay. So it's a very nice picture. It actually represents all of us, that man, because we didn't know what to do. We are so much behind that little bit of honey which is falling in the sense, little bit of so-called material happiness, and so many risks around us, right? All kind of risks around us. And Krishna is coming in Garuda and lending his hand for help, and we're not bothered about him. So many janmas, we ignored him. We were doing sense gratification. At least let's give one life to Krishna. That's what Prabhupada used to say. One life, try to chant the holy name. One life, let's do some service to the Lord and see what difference it makes. Right? So Parampadam. So for one who have accepted the boat of lotus feet of the Lord, who is a shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Mukunda, giver of Mukti, the ocean of material world is like water contained in the calf's hoof print. Parampadam, the place where there is no material miseries of Vaikuntha, this is called not the place where there is danger at every step. Shri Bhagavan Vaja, Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogadat Atmani Evatmana Tushta Stita Pratnyastadojyate. So who's Stita Pratnya? The Supreme Personality of God said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arises from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. So somebody who's Stita Pratnya means that he is purified and he knows and he has given up all varieties for sense gratification. We cannot be desireless. Prabhupada says only a stone cannot be desireless. Everybody have desire. But we can spiritualize the desire, or we can divert that material desire to spiritual. Dukeshu anudvignamana mana sukeshu vigataspritha vidaraga bayatrodha siddha dirmuni uchyate. So who's a siddha dirmuni? One who's not disturbed in mind. This is for pure devotees, and who's even in the amongst the threefold miseries or elated when there is happiness, or when he's free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a stage of steady mind. So what are the threefold miseries? I think we discussed this, right? The threefold miseries.
Yes, we discussed.
Yeah.
Adibhautik, Adhyatmik, and Adhidaivik.
Okay, so Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, and Adhyatmik. So Adhyatmik means referring to the body and mind, and Adi Bhautik means other living entities, and Adi Daivik means the demigods or the natural calamities. Okay, so when all these three called miseries are attacking on us, a pure devotee doesn't get attached with it, or he doesn't lament or get overjoyed. Yada samharate chayam purvo angani va sarvashaha indriyanindriyartebhyas tasya pratnya pradishchitaha. So one is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as a tortoise draws its limbs within the shell. It's firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. So you've seen a tortoise, right? When they just come in, it just withdraws inside its shell. So somebody like that who's able to withdraw the senses or control the senses is a perfect yogi, or who's in a samadhi, as Mataji said. He's above the three modes. That's again in samadhi, but that is Shuddha Sattva or Vasudeva platform, okay, who's able to withdraw. But we don't have to do that. In the sense of Krishna conscious person, the senses sometimes are compared to a snake. But for a Krishna conscious person, the senses are like a snake whose poisonous teeth is taken away. So when the poisonous teeth is taken away from the snake, it's no more dangerous, right? It can be, so it can be used in a good way. So in the same say, Vacho Vekam Manasakrodo Vekam Jihva Vekam Putro Pasta Vekam. So nectar of instruction verse 1 says that we are supposed to control our tongue, genitals, belly, mind, anger, and everything, so that we can have it having fixed in perfect consciousness. The best example is the tortoise, right? And now the 8 steps of fall down. So this is a very important part on your closed book concepts of Bhakti Shastri. So the 8 steps of fall down, we should know that in the material world, what are the 8 ways we can fall down? First is Dhyayedo Vishaya Pumsa Sangha Teshu Bhajayate Sangha Sanjayate Kama Krodho Vijayate Dhyayate Vishaya Pumsa. We contemplate on some objects. And then what happens when you keep thinking about an object, you develop attachment to that. And from attachment, there is lust. Oh, I want it, I want it. And from lust, anger arises. Like, for example, I keep thinking of an iPhone. I get contemplate on the iPhone. Then I become attached to that And then I'll be lusty. I want that iPhone. I want that iPhone. And when that lust is unsatisfied, I'm not able to satisfy that lust, or I'm not able to get the iPhone, I become angry. So from the lust, there is anger. Then what happens from anger? Krodho bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibramaha, smriti pramshat buddhinasha, buddhinasha pranashyati. So from anger, there is complete delusion. And then there is bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. So this is what happens. So we're supposed to control all of them. So this is the 8 stages of fall down. So 2.62 to 6.3, which the mind does is thinking, willing, and feeling. Right? These are the activities of our mind. But then when anger comes, so what happens? When you keep thinking about an object, which is positively or negatively, you become attached to it. And then there is lust. And unsatisfied lust results to anger. And from anger, there's delusion, then bewilderment, loss of intelligence, and one falls down into the gross material existence. Again and again, again and again, we take rebirth again and again. Right? So it says there are 3 gates to hell. What are they? The 3 gates to hell.
Kama, Krodha, and Moho.
Lust, greed, and anger.
Lust, anger, and greed.
Lust, greed, and anger. So these are the 3 gates to hell, it is said. So here anger also comes. Anger. Lust is also there. Greed is also there. So the lust can be also used in Krishna consciousness, in the sense you can be greedy for service. Greedy for prasadam, again, that is, it should not be atyahara, as you say, atyahara prayasasya prajalpani magraha jana sangasya laulyam cha shadvipatti vinashyati. So what are the 6 things which destroy our bhakti? Next of instruction says atyahara, in overeating. So overeating prasadam is also a problem. Initially, when we come to Krishna consciousness, yes, all the seniors are like, each prasadam, they keep giving us and feed us till our throat. Because we need that purification when we have prasadam. There is purification happening. But as we advance, we should know that we should have a limit. Right? So, lusty, in the sense, excessive desire, laulyam. Tatra laulyam abhimulya kevalam kodi janma subradana labhyate. Rupa Goswami says, the only thing that is required to advance in Krishna consciousness is laulyam, greed, the intense greed to satisfy Krishna, intense greed to do service, intense greed to chant more and read Shastras, associate with devotees, do service. So this is what is important. So when the lust is unsatisfied, there is anger in the material world. So Vyayate Vishaya Pumsa Sangha Sanchopachayate Santa Kamo. Yeah, Vijay Prabhu, what is it?
Mataji, you said 3 gates like lust, greed, and anger. Means what is the difference between lust and greed?
Yeah, very good. So excessive lust is actually going for greed, actually. Lust is just karma, like possess sense gratification. That is lust. Okay, and when we try to satisfy our senses, that becomes lust. And greed is excessive of lust, like you want to do it. Lust is little bit of desire for karma and for sense gratification. But when it's excess, it becomes greed. So it is said that when we try to satisfy our senses, that is lust. And when we try to satisfy Krishna's senses, that's called love. So Atmendriya Tripti Vancha Tarana Kam, Krishnendriya Tripti Vancha Tarana Prem. So that is prem. So that means what? There is no real love in this material world. Okay, so this is very important sloka. Vyayata Vishaya Pumsa Sangate Chobajayde. Sangha Sancha Vede Kama Kama Krodho Vijayde. Krodho Bhavati Sammoha, Sammoha Smriti Vipraha, Smriti Pramshat Buddhinasha Buddhinasha Pranashyati. Okay, so there is a fall down. Ragadveshe Vimuktestu Vishayan Indriyasya and Atma Vashir Videyatma Prasadam Adigachati. But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. So who will get the mercy? Somebody who is able to control the senses. So how do we start controlling the senses? How do you start controlling? Then raise your digital hand. Yeah, Vijay Prabhu.
Mataji, by directing our mind to Krishna.
Yes. And how do we start it?
By chanting his holy name.
Yes. So it says, Seven Mukihi Jikvado Swayameva Spuratida. Seven Mukihi Jikvado. You have to start our service from the tongue. And how do you start your service from the tongue? By chanting the holy name and taking Krishna Prasad. So these are the two things. That's why when you go to village areas, you can't speak philosophy to them. If you say Dehinosmin yada dehe kaumaram yamananja, there is soul transmigration, they won't know anything. They illiterate people and they are very simple living village kind of people. So for them, what to do, how to bring them to Krishna consciousness is make them hear Harinam. There is a mass Harinam Sankirtan kept there, right? And there will be Nagara Sankirtan or something, and there'll be devotees chanting the holy name and make them chant and dance, and Krishna Prasadam is distributed. So two things, purification will start. Chanting the holy name and taking Krishna Prasadam. This is enough actually. Then as they advance, philosophy is important because then we don't become sentimentalists. The four regulative principles is important, but that's not the beginning. When somebody came to, I think, my friend came to Krishna consciousness, and on the second day or something, Anada Mataji said that you're supposed to leave onion garlic and tea, coffee, and non-veg when you come to ISKCON. She would have run off. No, nobody can accept it in the beginning. That's very, very difficult when you say you have to leave all that, because that's how we were living. And then suddenly if you say no, slowly as they advance and they reach to 16 rounds, and slowly you can introduce all the rules. But immediately it's difficult for them to accept it, right? And Mahaprabhu says the Prarpita Niyamida Smaranena Kala, there's no rules and regulations for chanting. Anybody can chant. Chanting doesn't have any restrictions. Yes, Siddharth Prabhu.
Just a small thing. I mean, on the greed that we talked about, like there is a greedy person who is a kripana, and there is a lusty person who is kami. So the kripana is an opposite of a brahmana.
Yes, yes.
And so therefore, he doesn't believe into the Ishavasham principle. So he's basically kripana.
Yeah.
So he's not a brahmana. I think
yes.
that is also one difference. Hare Krishna. I thought.
Yeah, so Kripana is like a miser. So example given is getting a human form of life and is not using for the real purpose of liberation. That's a Kripana. He's a miser. He have money and he's not spending it. Or in the sense he got a human form and is not using. It's a Kripana. Yes. And somebody who uses the human form of life in the best way, Brahmachana Didi Brahmana. That's a Brahmana. Yes, Prabhu. Indriyanam hi charadam yanmano anuvidiyate tad asyaharati prajnam vayurnavam imam pashi. So as a strong wind sweeps away the boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. So all the analogies, like in the first chapter, we have the analogy of the paddy field, no, where the weeds are taken away, like that the Kauravas are removed from the battlefield. Like these analogies, like here, a strong wind sweep away the boat. Similarly, the mind focuses can carry away the intelligence. All these analogies, you should be very careful. You should study all that because these are all closed book Bhakti Shastri questions. So Maharaj Ambarish is famous for what? Ambarish Maharaj, anybody heard about him?
One day, Durvasa.
That's okay, but what is he famous for? As a
Archana,
devotee?
As a devotee, he was following a Navada Bhakti, though. He was a good example.
I want to avoid this over speaking. Yes, Vijay Prabhu.
Mataji Bhakti, he was famous for?
Devotional service, but in what? Sharan Mataji?
Mataji, Amrish Maharaj was famous for doing all like Kirtan, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Swaranam, all the 9 aspects of devotional service.
All 9 aspects of devotional service, right? All 9. So as you know, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Swaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. All the 9 was done by Ambarish Maharaj. That's why he's a very famous devotee. And there's a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, very important verse. If you can just go through, Prabhupada quotes this in the purport. Savai mana Krishna padara vindiyor vacham sivai gunda guna nivarnane karau harir mandiramarjanati shoshutim chakarachyuta satkatote mugumdalingaalaya darshanadrisho tadvritya gatra sparsha anga sangama Granam cha tatpada saroja saurabe Srimat Tulasya-rasanam tadarpite Pado harikshetra padana sarpane Shiro Rishikesha padabhivandane Kamam cha dasye natu kama kame yatu tamasloka janashriyarati. So how did Ambarish Maharaj did all the 9 devotional service? Savai Mana Krishna Padaravinda. His mind was always attached to lotus feet of Krishna. Vacham Se Vaikunta Guna. His tongue was used to glorify Vaikunta, the Lord. Karo Harir Mantira Margin. His hand was used to clean Krishna's temple. Shrutim Chakara Achyuta Satkadodye. His ears were used to hear Achyuta Katha, Krishna Katha. And Mukunda Lingalaya Darshan. His eyes were used to see the Lord. Tadbritya Katra Sparshanga. His body was used to embrace Krishna's devotees. Granam Chatatpada Saroja Saurabe. His nose was used to smell the flowers offered to Krishna. Srimat Tulasya Rasanam Tadadrida. The tongue was used to taste the tulsi offered to Krishna. Pado Harikshetra Padanusarpane. His legs were used to go to Krishna's temple. Shirorishikit Shapadabhyana. His head was used to bend or pay obeisances to the Lord. Kamam Chitasena to Kama Kami Yeduttamasloga Janashri. He doesn't have any other desire except to serve Krishna. So we won't be able to do all the 9, at least one devotional service if we do for perfection, chanting the holy name. That will give us perfection. Apuryamanam achalam pratishtam samudramapa pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarvesha shanti mapnodina kamaka. A person who's not disturbed by incessant flow of desires that enters the river into the ocean, which is ever being filled, but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. So there's another analogy here that you can see different rivers entering into the ocean, but does it get disturbed, the ocean? No, the ocean doesn't get disturbed with that. So similarly, a pure devotee that has millions of thoughts coming or so many things coming, but he will not be disturbed with such a flow of desires. So I told you the example of snake and the poisonous teeth, right? For a devotee, the teeth are like poisonous. The senses are like the snake whose poisonous teeth is taken away. Although the vast ocean is always filled with water, it's always, especially during the rainy season, being filled with much more water, but the ocean remains steady. It's not agitated, nor does it cross beyond the limit of its spring. It's also true for a person fixed in Krishna consciousness. Esha Brahmi Sthidapartha Nainam Prapya Vimuhyati Sthidvasyam Antakale Api Brahma Nirvana Brichati. That's the way of spiritual and godly life. After attaining which a man is not bewildered, if one is thus situated, even at the hour of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God. So, before I forget, so today we'll end chapter 2. So your first open book questions will be posted tomorrow from 2nd chapter. So what you're supposed to do is you can open your Bhagavad Gita and some references from Bhagavatam if you like. You can go through. And the sloka number will be mentioned. It will be an open book question. It's a long essay type. So you're supposed to write 750 words. It's an essay, and handwritten, not typing is not allowed because you'll cut copy paste from database. Everyone knows that. So we don't want that to happen. So you're supposed to handwrite it and take a picture and make it into a Word or a PDF file and upload in the link provided in the WhatsApp group. And it will be a Google form. And week time, that is next Saturday, is supposed to upload it. I'll close the form by then. And it should have a format, in the sense you need not have to write the question. You can just write introduction and then introduce the topic. Then there is a body and then content, conclusion, IBC it's called, the introduction, body and conclusion. It's supposed to conclude. You can quote references from other Shastras also, but then it should be related to, so it should not be just as it is from the book. You have to read the purports and then contemplate on it and add your points to it. Okay, that's how you write an open book. And keep off 60 marks. Attendance link will be posted. So Katwanga Maharaj, there is somebody called Katwanga Maharaj who had only 1 minute time to live. He actually fought with the demigods and went to the spiritual world, the heavenly planets. And from there, he actually won the battle with the demons. And the demigods asked him, what benefit do you want? So Katwanga Maharaj is like, how long am I going to live? They said 1 minute. So he came back to earth and he started meditating on the Lord and went back to Godhead. So actual life begins after completion of this material life. So, okay. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says there is an overview of Bhagavad Gita. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur summarizes the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita as being the content of the whole text. In Bhagavad Gita, the subject matters are Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. So in second chapter, Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga have been clearly discussed, and a glimpse of Bhakti Yoga has also been given as a content for the complete text. This material advancement of civilization is very nice, very dazzling. Just like when we pass on the streets or road of your American cities, it looks so nice, Prabhupada says. So many lights and so many night illuminating signboards. But we should always remember that this nice situation is not permanent settlement. Any moment I'll have to give up everything. So once Prabhupada was traveling in a car and there was some road work going on and the road was closed or something. So it was some sign was there that there is temporary improvement, temporary work going on, and there is permanent something like that. So Prabhupada felt like, no, this material world itself is temporary. Why do you say permanent solution, something it was given? Prabhupada laughed and said, it's opposite in the material world. It's all temporary here and damage is permanent. Yeah, it was like temporary damage and permanent work. I mean, permanent patch up will be done, something like that. So Prabhupada's like, no, it's the other way around. There is permanent problems here and there is a temporary place here. So here it says, the situation is not permanent settlement. Any moment I'll have to give up everything. Mrityu sarva harascha aham. Okay, so since I had to finish so much slokas, didn't have a breakout room today. Andita Mataji, can you post the attendance link? Okay, by then I can show that picture. Okay, any doubts? Anybody has any doubts or anything to add to this chapter? There's that picture where
The share, Mataji.
Which one?
The picture, Mataji.
You got it? Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mamta Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, how many words the essay should be? I missed
750 words.
750. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, very nice. So somebody have not seen this picture, no? Okay. So just see this. Mataji, can you zoom a little bit? Yeah. You can see that person is hanging from a tree. Okay. Now, when he hangs from the tree, okay, there is all honeybee. You can see the honeycomb here and honeybees are biting him. So much pain. And if he leaves his hand, he is going to fall onto that pool. You can see a pond which has poisonous snakes. So if he leaves his hand, he's again going to be in danger. But if he still keeps hanging, then you can see a mad elephant uprooting the tree. So definitely the elephant will uproot the tree and smash him. Or above that, there is a black and white mice. That's like day and night. Again, that will try to bite him. So in spite of all these dangers, so these dangers are like different types of diseases, accidents, and all problems around us. And you can see, in spite of that, he's putting his tongue out and trying to lick that honey, that's little bit of honey that's falling from the honeycomb. So he's trying to enjoy life. And there you can see Krishna on the other side trying to help him, but he's not bothered. He's bothered. His life is in danger now, but he's not realizing it. So even the karmis in this material world are like that. They don't know the life is in danger. They think this is one life to enjoy. But Krishna conscious devotees, they know there is a life after death. And to be in a safer side, we are supposed to hold Krishna's hand. So that person is a guru actually. Guru is Krishna's representative. That's a guru who's actually coming in form of different ways, as Shiksha gurus and Diksha gurus and different ways to take us closer to Godhead. So you can see all the different types of, so this is called Padam Yat Vibhadam Natisha. Every step there's danger in this material world, every step. We think sitting at home, there is no risk, there is. Anything can come anytime. So everything is temporary. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was asked, what is the most wonderful thing in the world? And what did he reply? Does anyone know?
That people think they'll live forever, Mataji.
Yeah. So even if they go to a funeral ceremony and you come to know the news that somebody have passed away, somebody have died, we still keep making plans for our future. We think that we are never going to die or be eternal. We are eternal, as spirit soul, we are eternal. But then the body is going to perish. but we don't work for it. And since we don't become serious about that, and we get lost in Maya. Okay, nice, Mother. Thank you, Mother. Yeah, attendance link was posted, Prabhu. Mataji posted it at 8:29.
Actually, I have a problem. I cannot do it in laptop, so I have to do it on
Mataji,
mobile.
you can post it again. Okay. So any other questions? Anything to add? So Sandhya Mataji, tomorrow remind me about the closed book. I mean open book tomorrow,
Yes, ma'am.
because
Yes,
I have to make the Google form. And when you upload the answers, when you fill your attendance list sheet, please fill the real full name with your surname and everything, how you want it in your Bhakti Shastri certificate. Because at the end, I can't run behind everybody first. And many devotees, they had to redo the certificate from Mayapur because there was a spelling mistake. And those who are initiated, come in that name, because you will be applying for a second initiation with this certificate, Bhakti Shastri. So initiated name. For those others, you have to come in that real name, and put the right email ID, because the certificate will come to your email ID directly from Mayapur. So put it on the right email ID also. Yes, Nandita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I ask you a question, please?
Uh-huh.
Mataji, you said about our ignorance when we consumed all kinds of things previously, and all kinds of things that we did in ignorance. Somewhere Prabhupada said that ignorance is not an excuse. It's like the fire burns everybody, whether it's a child who's in ignorance or whether it is me who's not in ignorance. So how do we work around that guilt of, so many years of being away from Krishna and sinning so badly, Mataji?
That is good, actually. That is good for us, so that we become serious in spiritual life. Because if we don't regret with about all that, then we'll take it lightly. The devotional service also will be taken lightly. So one way it's good, but Krishna only, Matta Smriti Jnanam Apohanam cha, he only makes us forget it. So Krishna only makes us forget it. We have done so many sins before, Mataji, all of us, right? But then because we were in Maya, yes, even the child is in ignorance and touch the fire. Second time, the child will not touch the fire again, right? Similarly, we have learned from our mistakes. Now, second time, we won't try to fall down into the material world. As once Prem Kishani Mataji is saying, like once we go back to Krishna, we will never come back. Why? Because we already have bad experience in this material world. So we'll never try to enjoy without Krishna. We'll never try to be envious of Krishna, because we already learned a lesson. So once it happened. Yes, ignorance is not an excuse. So a little bit karma will bind us, the reaction will come, but not as if like a child doing a sin and a grown-ups doing a sin. Both have different punishment, right? The grown-up person would be put in the normal jail, might be undergoing different types of punishment, or might be put to death also. But a child sent to juvenile home, correction homes, right? So similarly, out of ignorance, whatever you do, the karma is less actually. But when we do it purposely, what is it? Nam baladesya pap buddhi. On the strength of chanting the holy name, if we do sins, that's more sinful. So now, once we come out of ignorance, we should be very more careful. That's why we have a guru. So when you have a guru, what happens? The guru will nullify all the reactions. So guru will take charge of you. So because of different reasons, many are not able to accept a guru now. But at least in your mind, if you accept the guru, it's like initiation only. So Krishna knows that he is very merciful, right? Even if we become a worm, Krishna will come as Paramatma there also. He's very, very, very merciful. So Krishna knows that we have done our mistakes. So we should not be more guilty thinking only about that. We should think about the fortune we have, that Krishna have sent Srila Prabhupada, all these association of devotees and everything. Even though I'm so sinful, I've come to Krishna consciousness by some mercy of a Vaishnava, something, some Ajnata Sukriti. So we should be thinking positively and not try to repeat the mistake again. To err is human, that's normal, but not to repeat the sin. We are supposed to learn from that mistakes, right, Mataji? So Krishna gives chance to everyone to improve.
Thank
Yes,
you,
Mamta
Mataji.
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, I don't have initiation name and I'll soon be getting it. So then what should my name should be then right now for that?
Yeah, now you write your karmi name in the sense, but once you get your initiation, you can put it in the bracket.
Okay, thank
the
you.
old name you can put in brackets so that we know that, oh, this, because now your attendance, everything will be marked in your this name. And then once you get initiated, so we should not get confused, right? Who is who? So better write both the names at that time. Siddharth Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. On the scenes, Mataji, Krishna is giving guarantee. Guarantee in 18.66. Aham tam sarvebhyo papebhyo
Yeah.
moksha shami sucha. So in
Yes.
any case, if there is any sin, in any case, he is guaranteeing that he will just vanquish all these sins.
Yeah, Siddharth Prabhu is a nice preacher, no? You can take class, Prabhu. No,
Mataji is a Sanskrit scholar also.
He's a Sanskrit scholar and I'm not supposed to read slokas in front of him. I don't know ABCD of
No,
Sanskrit.
please, do not embarrass me. Please.
No, I'm really telling, like once you might be finished few chapters, I think we can give you some classes to start with. Some kind of preaching you can do. We need preachers. We need this Bhakti Shastri is basically to preach. So once you start taking class, actually our knowledge increases, right? So you can take nice classes. You can teach slokas also to students. You will be interested in that to teach slokas because many wanted to learn slokas. So if you're good at Sanskrit, might be half an hour, 45 minutes if you can spare, teach them. When
Whatever
Krishna
I
says,
know, I can do that.
Yes, Prabhu. I'll get back to you. I think we can, because we are searching somebody like this who can help devotees with slokas.
Right. Definitely, I'll do it. Definitely. Whatever I know, little bit, I can definitely do it.
Yes, Prabhu. So when Prabhu says that, when Krishna says, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksheshyami Ma Shucha. Yeah. So when Krishna says that, actually Krishna is taking care of all the sins. Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo, right? So there are different types of sin which Krishna is actually referring to. In different stages, the sin can be. But Krishna takes care. Yes, Krishna takes care of all the sin. So here in Chaitanya Charitamrita also it is little bit mentioned that when Krishna says Aham Tvam Sarva Papa, what is that Sarva Papa? So there are different types of Papa. It can be normal Papa, then Ati Uru Papa, Ati Papa, Maha Papa. There are different Pataka, different types of Papa. Or it can be a Bija form or a Kutam form or a matured form. Right? So whatever we are suffering now is in matured Papa. Whatever sin I have done in my previous life, that's getting matured. That's why I have a disease or I have an accident or I have some kind of legal problems going on or I am born ugly or illiterate or all this because of my Papa. That is fruitified. Now, whatever I'm supposed to suffer next life is in a immature stage. That will get fruitified. But when you do devotional service, what happens? Whatever sin reaction I'm supposed to suffer in next life also, it's getting crushed. It's like uprooting your the bija, the root of that sin. Okay, so in that way, Krishna promises actually, if we surrender to Krishna, Krishna will take charge of all the different sins we have done. And also when you chant the holy name, what happens? Whatever sin we are supposed to commit in the next life, everything is taken care, it is said. Because holy name have so much power. But we should not repeat those mistakes. Whatever we have done, that's over. And we can't go back and correct it. So what we're supposed to do is correct now. It's in the sense the desire, the sinful desire should be taken away. It's like a bijam in us. So that should be washed away. That is possible. I'm not able to locate it, but in Krishna says about that specifically, that when I say sarva papebi, I meant all the sins in your previous life, in your next life, everything. But we should not repeat the sin, and we should have trust in the holy name. No? So, okay. So any other questions or are we done? So we're done with chapter 2. Okay, so you got the open book. Open book means you can refer to the books and write. Either you can go through the Bhagavad Gita and then read the purport, okay? And then write, and it should have an introduction, body, and conclusion. You can highlight the points instead of writing a big essay. You can paragraph it and highlight the points, write subheadings, which will make the essay look nice, and also it will be easy for us to read. And it should not be so short. And when you're uploading the answers, please make sure the images are clear. Some upload so blurred images which we can't read, because when we zoom, we cannot even read. And 60% of your Bhakti Shastri marks, 60 marks, is for your open book. Some devotees, they take closed book so seriously, because that is to be written without seeing. So they mug up, they by heart, and they take so much effort in it. But it's just 20 marks, closed book. But open book is 60 marks. So be careful. And then start studying slokas. So at the end of 6 chapters, there'll be sloka exam. That is, you have to chant any 3 slokas from first 6 chapters. Yes, Nandita Mataji?
Mataji, the next chapter has 43 verses. So our reading assignment is half of the number of verses?
Half. Yeah, half. Okay. If we complete all the verses, then it look like level 1 course. So we'll be rushing through it. So we won't rush. Better to understand the subject and then go. Okay. Yes, Mataji. Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. So I think we can end here. Okay. Thank you for joining. Please take care of the attendance. Saheli Mataji, I think you're doing for the second. You were in some other batch, na?
Yes,
Before?
Mataji. Before this, I was in batch, but I couldn't submit the closed book assessment and open book assessment also. So
okay, you can do from here. Okay, you can.
Yes, Mataji.
This batch, essentially, you do try to do as much as you can, so that there is no attendance shortage also for you. Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.